Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to The Wonderful Life. I'm Deanna.
And I'm Tim.
And today we are going to discuss all of the restaurants on the Norwegian Viva, which is the ship we just came off of in January.
We're back in Chicago. We've completed our cruise on the Norwegian Viva, and I've been doing a lot of editing. I think we've come to we've released every individual day. We've done a kind of a recap on all of the excursions. What we're talking about today is the dining on board, the specialty dining, the main dining rooms, the little cafes and things, room service, you name it. We're sitting outside of Wrigley Field here in Chicago, which is our neighborhood back home. We've got a spring-ish day. This is a day in the 70s, which is rare.
Yes.
For April is, I guess, you're starting to feel some warm weather, but this is feels very summery today.
Yeah, we're both in shorts and t-shirts for the first time this year. So,
but yeah, we can't wait to tell you a little bit more about where we ate, what we liked, what we didn't like.
I guess we'll start off with main dining.
Yeah, there's two main dining rooms. There's Hudson's and there's the Commodore room. Well, we had a favorite. That was Hudson's, and we'll tell you why.
Well, Hudson's typically serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but not all on every day. They typically serve from what we saw, I think they serve breakfast every day and dinner every day, but they will only serve lunch on sea days or on embarkation day. All of the food that we had there was very good.
Yeah, as soon as we boarded the ship, they were serving lunch in Hudson, so that was our first meal on board after we got settled in. Yeah, it's light stuff, really nothing super fancy, but it was very well done. It's very, very bright. You can see there's glass surrounding it. The ceilings are a little higher, so it felt really comfortable.
It's a beautiful space. It is all the way in the aft of the ship, and it is surrounded by glass. So if anyone has gone on any of the other NCL classes of ships, like the Breakaway class or whatever, it's going to be similar to the Manhattan room, but it's even nicer than that because it's literally like a 180 view of the sea.
Yeah, we ate at Hudson's 3 times on this last trip. We had breakfast, we had lunch, we had dinner, and I didn't think there were any hiccups along the way. They understood the drink package very well. They, if we asked for a bottle of wine, not a problem. The sommelier would even come and deal with that. They were on top of everything as soon as, and they checked in on us, which is nice, like a one of the specialty dining restaurants. It almost had that feel.
Yeah, we didn't have a bad meal there. Our breakfast was very, normal breakfast, eggs and bacon and stuff like that. And then dinner, I believe Tim had steak one day, and it was actually as good a quality as eating in the Steakhouse. Yeah,
it was a lot like we'd been on other NCL ships and done specialty dining, and Cagney's is always a favorite. It seemed like my steak was a Cagney steak cut in half almost. Yeah. I mean, it was a thick cut steak. Wasn't one of those thin sandwichy steak things, and it didn't feel like a Ponderosa, if you can remember those. It was legit.
Yeah.
So
it was a good inch thick steak.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We had clam chowder there. That was really well done. It had bacon bits across the top of it. It wasn't, like you would expect it, a family restaurant.
Everything was well done. If we had to rate that, I would definitely put it high up on the list. But we always liked Manhattan room too when we ate on the other ships. Hudson's was definitely very, very good. Moving on to the Commodore room, that's a whole different story.
The problem was we went to Hudson's before we went to the Commodore room, so we had higher expectations for this main dining rooms. And the Commodore room brought us back down to reality. That was this felt smaller. They had lower ceiling. Sound was really bad. It was echo chamber, so it was hard to have a conversation. I know everybody's on a cruise and everybody's happy and everybody's chatty, but add alcohol and a very low ceiling and you've got
The
Yeah, it was
acoustics were awful.
really hard to hear.
And the food was fine. I mean, they serve the same food as they do in the main dining room, but the service was beyond bad that night. I'm glad we only ate there once, and maybe other people would have different experiences than us. This would be comparable to like the taste and savor that's on the other ships. I think they had a good thought in mind when they put the whole room together, and they tried to make it look more upscale. It's on the same level as Cagney's. The Belvedere bar is in between the two restaurants. It's literally just back in one little corner of the ship, so it's very small. And I didn't like it. I felt like it was just claustrophobic in there. It was, everything is always busy, but it was just not our cup of tea at all.
It was oddly disorganized, and our waiter, we seemed to have some kind of a language barrier, because when my order was incorrect, he said, "Is everything all right?" And I said, "No, this isn't what I ordered." He didn't quite understand what I was saying, and he just sort of walked away as if I had said everything was great. And trying to get their attention to come back, we wondered what became of the wine we had ordered that didn't show up until
after the food.
And the food finally got straightened out once we got one of the managers to come and he seemed really irate with the way we were being treated. At least he rushed and got everything set up. We had our wine within a split second after he got involved, but it shouldn't really get to that point.
If you watch, I guess that was our day 5 video. You'll see, because we definitely have footage from that video.
We were already in kind of a hurry, and we pointed that out, that we usually eat a little earlier, and we had some shows and things we wanted to do afterwards. He nodded in agreement, but I don't think he understood what we were saying.
Yeah.
So we wound up not even getting dessert, because it went on way too long, the whole process of getting our orders straightened out.
And I would say this was probably the worst experience that we had on the entire cruise. So lesson learned for us. We probably, if we ever went on the Viva again, we probably wouldn't go back there, just because it was so small and claustrophobic. But
and if you don't have specialty dining to use, Hudson's is comparable to me. It felt perfect. I mean, I could eat there every night if need be. And they changed the menu. They have a lot of things that are there all the time, but they changed it up, a few of the items, and I was happy with most of the selections I saw there. And the breakfasts were, you can't screw breakfast up, at least in my opinion. It's easy enough, because the breakfasts we were getting were, basic items like bacon and eggs and eggs Benedict, but I would avoid Commodore room. Maybe it'll improve down the road, but at this point it was kind of a mess.
So we had 4 specialty dining dinners associated with the package that we had. We ate at Le Bistro. That was our day 1, actually. That is the French restaurant that's on board. We have eaten in this restaurant on other ships before. It's always good. We never have any issues. The only issue I had was the location of where this restaurant was. And again, maybe we're just used to the other types of ships, or the other, what do you call
layout, it seemed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It took us, we walked beyond it and had to literally turn around and go back to the restaurant. Because we couldn't find where it was. It was tucked away again in a little corner around from, I think, the Metropolitan Bar, and I think that's maybe deck 7.
It's almost like you want to scout it out and find it before the time you need to use it, because it's not straightforward. Well, the only problem besides the location and maybe the layout was the kind of had a problem with the Premium Plus drink package, what that involved. We always order a bottle of wine with that, anything that was on the approved list there, and they said, well, here's your glass, and we thought, well, generally we get a bottle of wine brought to the table, and we just kind of top it off as we go casually. They said, well, no, we don't do that. You have to, sure, you can keep getting your wine for free, but we don't bring the bottle to the table, and everywhere else
we've never had a problem with that.
So I got to the point where I had to pull up a little photo I had of the policy for the Premium Plus drink package and show it to the sommelier, and she said
she said that
still
with
doesn't.
us.
Yeah, I don't know if that's right. I said no. We were just at the Travel and Adventure Show in Chicago at the NCL booth, and they gave this to us. You know, that's what changed our minds about getting that package. We saw how inclusive it was, and they still thought, well, where did you get this, and is this even? But we had to keep calling them over for the wine, and we're not used to that. It's kind of a pain in the butt.
The only bottle that they will not give you in the Premium Plus in that particular restaurant is the upscale champagne, the Vive Clouk.
Yeah, which is like $25 a glass or something if you want it otherwise.
So you can get it by the glass, but they won't bring you the bottle. It's not included in the list of bottled wines that you can get. We've never had an issue with getting a bottle of wine. There's always a list of wine. The sommeliers say, yes, this is included, and they will bring it to you for the Premium Plus, if you have the Premium Plus drink package. So the sommelier obviously didn't know what she was talking about, because we've never had an issue with Premium Plus and getting bottles of wine before. Normally there is a list that we can choose off of in pretty much every restaurant, from specialty dining to the main dining rooms. And we didn't have an issue with any of the other restaurants on this ship at all, except for Le Bistro. And she was adamant, no matter what, that it was not included in our package, whether we proved it to her or not. So she just kept bringing us glasses, which is fine. But that was a little discouraging. Other than that, the food is always outstanding there.
Yeah, we were able to order, things that we've tried on other Le Bistros, on other cruise lines, similar items, and the quality is right up there. It's definitely worth the specialty dining credit there. If you're going to choose one, that's one of the top two.
Yeah, definitely. Their steaks are always very good. I had fish this time, and the Dover sole was very good. My go-to is the cream of mushroom soup. If you like cream of mushroom soup, this is probably the best you'll ever have if you decide to get that. And the dessert's always good. So yeah, in general, it was good. But again, kind of a small venue. The acoustics weren't very good.
Yeah, they got a big chandelier in the middle of the room, which makes it look like everything's pretty well separated, but they seated everyone really close to each other. Yeah. We thought dining early, we'd have a little more open space. Turned out to be pretty darn noisy. I ordered the French onion soup like I always do, because it's by far the best. It's the quality of the cheese they use is better than any of the... everything at Celebrity was not even up to par, even their specialty dining. It's way better, and it didn't disappoint. Even the French onion in there, the main dining rooms on Norwegian is decent, but yeah, this is way better. And I got my duck, which I get on every cruise whenever it's offered. And
it's a guarantee he's going to order those same things when we're in Paris in a couple of weeks.
I don't know. It's just something you don't make at home. You don't go to the corner grocery store
and
look for a duck. It's either like a steak or pork chops or chicken. It's something that it's very unique, and it's not easy to cook. So you get it while you can. And that didn't disappoint. I was really happy with that. Our desserts were really good. You had the poached pear, I think, and that looked... It
was good. It had drizzled chocolate on it. Mm-hmm. And the food's always solid there. We never have issues with food.
We didn't eat a whole lot of desserts on this cruise because, we weren't exactly hitting the gym every day. So we focused on the main courses and things like that. And that's the way we made ourselves feel better, is by skipping a dessert here and there. I'm glad we chose it. We've done, most of the specialty dining restaurants on Norwegian ships, and this is my favorite personally.
The next specialty dining restaurant that we chose was Onda by Scarpetta. This is the Italian restaurant that's on the ship. We typically avoid the Italian restaurant, La Cucina, on the other ships because it's just not very good. But this was outstanding. Go hungry. Make sure you just don't eat all day because you get way too much food.
Yeah, it's not like you have to say, can I have a little more of anything? Because you're
No.
at that point, you've got so many courses available to you, and the plates are large. It's not like you get a personal pizza if you want a pizza. It's a full-size pizza. So, and then being on a ship, it seems like a waste if you can't finish something. It's not like you go, "I'll bring it home." You're not bringing anything home, and their fridges in the rooms aren't sufficient. So, definitely expect a lot of food when you're like with each entree.
Yeah, you typically get an appetizer, a soup or salad, or 2 appetizers, or a soup and a salad, or whatever. Then you get, in this particular restaurant, you get your first course and you get your second course, kind of like you do in Italy. So your first course is typically a pasta. Are only going to talk about the highlights here. The pappardelle bolognese was phenomenal.
We both got that.
It's homemade pasta, you could tell. Very, very well done. The sauce was amazing. Being Italian, I'm pretty critical of Italian food, and it was one of the best dishes I think I had on the entire cruise, to be honest.
Yeah, and we both had so many different things. I know the appetizers were pretty decent size. I had the grilled octopus. That was the only kind of iffy. I don't know if Italian is the place for octopus. I mean, maybe it seems more a Greek specialty. I don't know. It didn't quite. It was a little tougher than I've had on other ships and in other restaurants. Flavor was perfect, but yeah, we're getting very nitpicky because everything else was so perfect.
But the pizza was amazing. So definitely, if you want pizza, go there for pizza. Matter of fact, you might be able to just go and get pizza there separately, away from the buffet, and that would be my recommendation if you want pizza and you can get in there. But yeah, so that was good. We got a good, nice bottle of wine that day.
Oh yeah, they had the Brunello, which is one of the top Tuscan red wines. So they don't really serve that anywhere else on the ship. So, and it's not cheap, but it's a very expensive wine. And so if you can get a whole bottle of that delivered to your table to drink at your leisure, that's A+.
And the restaurant was an okay size. It's right outside of the right across, I think, the hall from the whiskey bar. A little bit bigger, I think, than Le Bistro was, which is kind of surprising because Le Bistro, I think, is more popular than the Italian restaurant, but hey, what do I know? In general, it was good. There would be things that I would definitely order again, like the pasta and the pizza for sure.
Yeah, the benefit of having been there once before is huge. I think if our next time we see that restaurant, we'll be sticking to the pasta items were superior. So that I'll definitely make that the main course.
Definitely.
And pizza I can get just about anywhere, and I just hated to waste like a half to a quarter because I had so many different plates on the table at the same time. Yeah,
definitely a lot of food for sure. The next specialty dining restaurant that we ate at was Hasuki. This is comparable to teppanyaki on the other ships. Honestly, it's the same restaurant. They just changed the name. I don't know why they changed the name, but they changed the name.
It's the colors that are the same in the restaurant. The waiters are just as wacky and musical.
It's the Japanese Steakhouse, just to clarify, in case anyone was wondering.
I guess you'd say.
Yes.
It's the traditional, the miso soup, is it the ginger?
It's a ginger salad. Yeah.
The drinks were quick. I mean, a lot of times you go to those places, there's a lot of chaos, and the server doesn't recognize that you need another drink, but they were on top of that. I was really pleased with that.
Service was good.
The only pitfall is there's a lot of sodium in that food. You have to be really careful. They just keep soy saucing every, the vegetables, the chicken, the steak, and it catches up with you, especially if you're on a boat for some reason. All that sodium in your diet is not a good thing.
The day after we ate at that restaurant, I had a little bit of swelling in my feet and legs that I didn't have prior to that. The food is always very good, but you know what? Any Japanese food, whatever, steakhouse, that they're usually very, very well done on that ship. And I think NCL does it really good because there's a show that's involved and there's singing and
it's a good social thing. If you're cruising solo, it's a great way to meet 8 to 10 people that you wouldn't have met otherwise, and you're all sharing in the same thing. With the problem in our case was he asks, is anyone's birthday, anyone's anniversary, and our
That's what I was just gonna say.
was close enough
within days.
that he had to point that out and keep dumping more and more rice on Deanna's plate. More than
pretty much any leftovers that he had that no one else wanted came to me, and I was right at the end, like right next to him anyway. So he thought it was funny. At one point, I just was like, I can't eat anymore because it was just so much food.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we did it. It was fun.
Yeah.
And it
I
made
don't
for
know
an
if I would do
interesting
that
video.
again, though, just because of the situation with my legs. I don't typically have problems with swelling in my legs, and I'm a nurse too, so I know exactly what it means and whatever. But it was just a little.
Not just that, we were doing almost every excursion we had was swimming in the ocean,
that's true.
snorkeling in the ocean. You got all that salt water.
Yeah.
And in my case, I can't float like Deanna can float anywhere. I was probably swallowing half of the ocean every time. We had one more specialty dining, and that was at Palomar, which is the seafood restaurant on board. And there's another name for the seafood restaurant on other NCL ships.
Ocean Blue.
Ocean Blue, yeah. So it was kind of in that vein.
Oh, it's very good. Beyond good. I would definitely go back there. There's no question.
Yeah, the sommelier was really knowledgeable, and we wanted a white wine, but we're not big white wine drinkers. But with seafood, that was the way to go. And their recommendation was spot on. There was a French white wine that we'd never heard of, and you don't see it in a
I think it
liquor
was a
store or
Sauvignon
anywhere.
Blanc, and again, I don't remember the name of it, so we'll post a picture of it. But that was very good.
Yeah.
I did scallops. Tim had.
Oh, I had octopus yet again, but it was done perfectly.
Well, it was
this
different.
time,
It was definitely good.
It was done differently, but I was really happy with that.
But what was your main dish? I don't remember. Was it sea bass or was it
I think we
Dover
both
sole?
had Dover sole.
No,
there,
I
didn't
I had scallops.
we? Oh, okay, yeah. So this was my turn to try Dover sole, which
Mm-hmm.
I watched Deanna order it, and I think that sounds super cool and fancy and all, but I don't know I didn't even know what it would look like. I guess a fish is a fish, but
It's a light white fish.
And it was really mild. It's not a fishy fish.
It's very light.
Yeah, I'm not one of these who likes fish delivered where the head and tail are still on it or anything like that. So I'm scared. I'm a scaredy cat in the fish department. But it looked the way I want it to look. I don't want to see what it looked like before it wound up on my plate. So it was very neatly done and very artistically done. The atmosphere was more romantic than most of the other dining rooms. When you go and do specialty dining as a couple on a cruise ship, you don't want it to feel like you're in a big banquet hall and a raucous environment.
Agree.
You want, couples need at least a little time in a quieter space so they can hear each other talk and not have to shout over any noise. In this actual venue was better soundproofed or higher ceilings. I don't know what it was.
They also have outdoor seating. They have indoor-outdoor seating. They are kind of attached to the pool deck and the buffet. So they're kind of tucked away in a little corner off to the side. I don't remember which side of the ship it is, but in general, I thought that it was very, very good, and definitely would do it again. I think we should rate our 4 specialty dining restaurants.
Okay.
1 to 4.
Well, you have to, I guess, individually.
Yeah, individually, because I'm sure it's different for each of us. So for me, my number 1 was, I'm going to say Palomar for number 1. I'm going to do Onda for number 2, La Bistro for number 3, and Teppanyaki or Hisuki for number 4 this time around.
I wouldn't ordinarily say the seafood place is my favorite, but when it's done that well, I can't help it. And the service was
it was
really
incredible.
Sharp. And I think I have the exact same Palomar. La Bistro would have been number 2 if they were a little more understanding of the policies and things.
I think that's what did it for me too this time around.
It takes you out of the mood when you're at a romantic dinner, especially the first night aboard the ship. You're like, you're in the zone. You've been looking forward to this for months or a year. and then you end up trying to argue and search your notes on your phone to prove that you're right and they're wrong. That's not a French restaurant in my opinion. So that put them down in third. So I would say Palomar, Onda, Le Bistro, and Hasuki.
We could have just done this together.
I know. Hasuki's not really, I mean, it's fun. We thought maybe let's see if it's any different than teppanyaki, and it's really not significantly different in any way other than the name.
Yeah, it's identical. It really is. The other specialty dining restaurants that are on board are Los Lobos, which is a Mexican cuisine. We did not eat there. Everyone we talked to said it was very good. Cagney's Steakhouse. I don't know. I think people were a little disappointed with that we talked to. We did not eat there this time around. We have eaten at that restaurant before on other ships. Usually the steaks are very, very good. They come out exactly the way whatever temperature you order them at. They have like I believe a tuna tartare, which is also very good for like an appetizer. That's usually a good go-to restaurant. If you want a good steak, that's usually where you go.
And their desserts are huge
their desserts
from what
are very
remember, good. And they were good. The first time we went to Cagney's was on the Epic when we were in the Mediterranean. That was one of those so perfectly done, and the service was so perfect we almost teared up. It was an anniversary kind of feel.
It was.
But yeah, we weren't. You've done it enough times, and there's a lot of great steakhouses here in Chicago. So, we aimed for some different things. If you're out in the ocean, you're thinking seafood. If you're,
But Cagney's is usually on every ship. Like it's on every class of ship that they have on NCL. So I think only one time I was disappointed eating there, and I think that was our last Mediterranean cruise.
Yeah, they could not get the temperature of the steak right.
Yeah, I had ordered the filet mignon, and I ordered it medium rare, and it came out medium, which was very unusual. So sometimes I just go to hey, just make it rare, and I'll eat it bloody instead. All right. On that note,
Food Republic is one that we've seen on a few ships, but I don't know. We hear really good things about it. It's just for some reason
Asian fusion restaurant. They do sushi. I know they're supposed to do very good sushi. We've never eaten there. Everyone that we know that's eaten there loves it. Tim's not a huge fan of that kind of food, so we typically avoid it. I wouldn't be opposed to trying it, but that's usually what that is. And then there's one more specialty dining, and that's Nama Sushi and Sashimi. It's just a basic sushi restaurant, sushi bar, and they probably have a little bit of like skewers and stuff like that. I don't even know. So
I think that there's some fried things for the guys who do not like sushi and all. But if I'm going to waste credit, like around here, Asian food is probably the least expensive kind of meal, like a quick carry-out, take-out, delivery kind of thing.
You mean like Chinese food?
Chinese, Japanese. We have a lot of sushi places that are really inexpensive.
We do. We have a lot of ramen restaurants around here.
A lot of noodle places. Yeah. And it's not what I would call fine dining. I mean, it's fine dining, but it's not, let's go and get romantic and candlelighty kind of thing. It's kind of it's a casual, fun.
Are you saying that you were always looking for romance when we go to restaurants?
When I'm on a cruise,
Oh, well, yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's one of those things. And the dinner is kind of a nice quiet, especially when you're experiencing all of the action that we did, where we were, climbing hills and swimming and snorkeling.
We needed to clarify that when you just say all the actions.
Not that action. There was a lot of, we were on the ship a short time when you think about it. Even where we didn't plan on getting off the ship, we went and explored towns and things, and so it was a high endurance thing. And so dinner was kind of let's sit back and think about the day.
Yeah, that's true.
And it, when there was a nice quiet place, it was very notable.
Yeah. Okay, so others to mention, the buffet, the Surfside Cafe. We did not eat there.
It looked fine.
It looked good.
It didn't look as busy as on some.
No.
I know when we were on the Celebrity Apex, that was a.
Well, it was huge on
Yeah.
the Apex too. This is a very small restaurant, if you want to call it a restaurant. The buffet is beyond small. I know there were a lot of people complaining that there wasn't enough
and
space.
this location is funny because in order to get to some parts of the ship, we found ourselves walking through the buffet just because of the layout. So that was a complex thing.
Yeah, you have to, in order to get to like the Vibe Beach Club or upstairs to the racetrack. I mean, it's almost like there. You almost have to walk through. At a very least, you have to walk through a portion of the buffet, cut through a hall, go through another hall, past some elevators, to get to that section. So it was again kind of like a maze, which is what we've said before.
And
so
you know, we're like I say, we're not huge into buffets just because it's a kind of an undisciplined kind of every man for himself thing when it's that crowded.
We're really particular about. I don't want to get sick, and I know that there's a lot of people out there, and you guys do you, and we can do us. But we've been to buffets before, and everyone walks by. No one even washes their hands.
Yeah,
so
they
I
ignore
just,
the guy
you
at
know
the
what?
door.
I don't go on vacation to get sick. Maybe you can call me paranoid, maybe not. I want to be in my zone and stay safe. So we don't typically do buffets. Even though we don't do the buffet, we did do the Surfside Grill, which is attached to the buffet. And it was very good.
Yeah, it's a lot like a lot of other ships have a grill kind of near the pool area, but it was small, but the food was very fresh. I was happy with my choices.
Burgers,
and
hot dogs. I think they had some pulled beef. Was it barbecue beef or
I had
was it barbecue pork?
Barbecue beef, and I think you had like a mushroom burger or something. But lots of toppings and things, which is a nice touch.
French fries. I mean, it was like your basic
thing
grill.
I would change, I would have some kind of a beverage thing available there. Otherwise, you have to go back into the buffet to get a drink or go out to where I went out to the Vibe Beach Club.
It is in a bad location, and I'll be honest. And we didn't hang out at the regular pool very much at all. Actually, I don't even think we did. We were out there for a drink one time and the sail away party, and that was it. It's very far back near the Vibe Beach Club, so for us it was very convenient because we had Vibe passes. But if you don't, it's really difficult to get to. And honestly, they should revamp that for the Aqua ship, because it really should be next to the pool.
I mean, the main pool being so small and the lack of seating, they figured they had all of those other wings with the small infinity hot tubs and things on the sides, but it didn't take enough of the crowd away, and it was hard to get through that area, and so you had people crossing through the grill too to get from here to there. So,
but in general, the food was good.
Well
we were
done.
able to grab a drink over at the Vibe, and then we just sat there and we ate it. There's no real outdoor seating there. It's just like this little itty bitty area, so you still have to move and go somewhere else to sit down and eat. But
we had some people we saw that would get their stuff at the grill and they'd bring it by the pool or they'd bring it to the Vibe Beach Club.
But again, you have to walk through multiple areas in order to do that. So a little inconvenient.
Yeah, people were waiting for us to get up when we were done so they could have our table. It was that tiny.
The local bar and grill, aka Oceans on other ships, very good. We liked it. We ate there a couple of times. We had a lunch. We had two lunches. One was just appetizers and one was regular. They have these amazing hot fudge sundaes, so get one if you want some ice cream. It was very good.
Well, they're open 24 hours. So no
24 hours.
You've got some option that way. The burgers are good. The wings are good. I've had fish and chips. That's all. The way you would expect. This ship class is a different layout than the Oceans we've been to, where you've got the atrium to look down upon, and there's some skee ball and things going on around it, and it has a little bigger feel.
On the same level as the atrium. I think it was deck 5, but it's towards the back of the ship, and just past like the photo area and all of that stuff. And it's a big space. There's a bar spot. There's the restaurant. They have an outdoor seating area. It's beautiful. I loved it. I mean, it's a really nice little area. They have, a lot of I guess it's kind of the sports bar. So people were watching the Detroit Lions game that first night because the playoffs were going on. They had the TVs going with the game. No, it's good. Had some problems with the bar there when we were there.
Very slow service.
Very slow service. But other than that, the food is always solid. They do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then snacks in the overnight time. We ate there one time after a night of drinking, and I got the burger, and Tim had wings or something. Or did you have fish and chips that night? Okay. But very good.
Yeah, try to avoid fried food, but when you're on, Irish restaurant,
an Irish pubby, kind of, sort of,
natural. The other restaurant that we actually tried a couple of times indirectly was the Indulge food hall, and that's a different concept that Prima and Viva have that the other ships don't have. We were very curious about it. Some people love it, some people hate it. I think there's a little, like a tablet computer sitting at every single table, and they've got the menus for the different, I don't know, there's 5, 6, 7 different locations. So they're little food stations that are around the restaurant. They're seating everywhere, but there's little plots here and there where each individual item comes from. The one was called the Garden. There's one that's called the Latin Quarter. The Latin Quarter was kind of
it was more Spanish, literally
like
just Latin food. It wasn't Mexican.
Yeah.
They had a Spanish
theme. They didn't call nachos nachos.
No, not
they
at
called
all.
them
Topolos.
Something fancy.
Topolos.
The Garden, of course, is your soups and your salads and things like that. They have noodles. So there's your Asian theme, kind of.
It wasn't
in a way.
Asian. That was Italian.
It was
Italian
both noodles.
Yeah, you could do either.
All kinds of noodles. They didn't discriminate.
Exactly.
Q Texas Smokehouse, which is of course barbecue related items. The Seaside Rotisserie is not fish; it's like chicken rotisserie, chicken type items.
Yeah, they had sausages.
Yeah, so the chicken of the sea or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that was. I mean, and some of the tamara, which is the Indian kind of,
which was very popular. If you like Indian food, we have been told it's amazing. I did try something Indian, and it was a little too spicy for me. Had I been able to tolerate the spice, it had very good flavor. I just couldn't. It was a little too hot for me.
And there's some desserts and what they call the Indulge dessert.
But those are to go, take.
Yeah, so you can just
go up and pick them up.
Yeah, you can go up to that stand, the sweet stand, I guess they call it, and you can just choose your item that way. You don't necessarily have to have it brought to you. The first problem we had was when we went for lunch, the little tablet didn't work.
Didn't work at all.
So they brought us another one that didn't work. And then there's a waiter who...
So he wound up taking our order.
Yeah, placed the order on his own personal one. And that was a little odd. Ordered a drink and it did not come. So I went and I got a cup and got some...
that day was very disorganized. I think it was... It was our Tortola day. And we had an excursion in the morning. Tim was hungover. But it was very crowded. I think the people just kind of gravitated towards after they were done in port, and that's where they went for the day. They didn't go anywhere else, and it was very,
the pulled
very
pork
crowded.
Sandwich was good, and it had the coleslaw on it and all that. And I needed something solid after our crazy excursion and all the drink I'd done the day before. I mean, I don't the food quality was great. It's an unusual concept. What we had to learn was you order one thing at a time, and then when you're done with it,
I was just going to say.
You order the next item. You don't just say, I'd like to order all these things, and you hit all the buttons, because then you've got food just sitting everywhere.
Right.
This way it's fresher if you wait until you're...
That's the one nice thing about that restaurant, is you could just kind of order as you go, and then if you get full, you don't need to eat anymore, or if you want more, you can have more. So in general, I like the concept. I think maybe I could have ordered some other things. I'm not quite sure I ordered the right things for me, but I wasn't positive on what was on what to get, and I was just trying to wing it, and it was fine. It was good. A lot of people love it. A lot of people love it.
Yeah, the one thing that was a little odd, when I went to get a soft drink, they do have dispensers for soft drinks. I had to scan my key card for the soda,
because of the drink package,
otherwise you can only get water or juice or something like that. So once you've done it once, you're fine. But we were, like I said, we didn't
was
give it a
fine.
fair shot the first day, so we went back for
Yeah.
a dinner on one of the later days, like the 6th day we went back. And tried a little bit more. It was a bigger menu for dinner. But it was pretty empty.
It was nice. It was very empty that night, and I think that's what made it nicer. It was quiet, and we were able to that was a long day. That was our St. Martin day, and it was a very long day. So
getting to I guess the observation lounge is one of the prettiest areas on the ship.
Yeah.
They don't have a whole lot of food offered there, just little
breakfast.
tiny breakfast items. Those little egg bites, and they had croissants, and they had toast and tea and coffee, and it's nice. It's relaxing. You can sit and watch. We were in port every time we went there because
it's a beautiful space. It's at the front of the ship, all the way in the front. Probably high deck 17, I think, is where it is. It's just beautiful. Like, you've got your 180 of windows all the way around. There's a lot of seating areas. There's areas where you could just sit back and read if you want. It's very relaxing.
It was a good meeting space for us. We met a bunch of different people on board, and to the point where we couldn't stop talking and our food would get cold.
We didn't do a lot of eating up there. They just have breakfast, as Tim said, and it's limited menu, so it's nothing major.
And it's quick too. So
but it's very quick if you want
you've
something.
got an excursion and you want to just grab a bite, that worked out really well on top of Starbucks, which with the Premium Plus drink package, getting Starbucks.
Right.
We actually ate at Starbucks once in a pinch
We
with
did.
some pastries or breakfast sandwiches.
Which is kind of like the observation lounges, and it has very limited hours, so you definitely watch day to day what they are. They're usually closed by 10 or 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, the only catch with the Starbucks, if you order sandwiches and stuff like that your drink
Have to
package
pay
isn't
for
going to
it.
help you there. You're going to have to pay for the food items that you're ordering. And the mug. We got a Starbucks
We
mug
did
with
get a
the
mug.
ship name on it. That was the first thing we did. That's more important than anything else.
I don't know about that,
We
but
did
anyway.
get a mug, and we met the captain at the Starbucks, so
That
that
is
was
true.
another neat thing.
And as you could see, I'm drinking Starbucks right now, so maybe I'm a little addicted.
What this isn't necessarily a restaurant, but we had room service twice for breakfast.
It's very good.
The final day was just for convenience sake. We were all packed, and we knew they would be coming around and starting to clean out the rooms for the next guests. So we just figured, let's eat and then roll up. And we had breakfast items that day, and the day that I was hungover was another. It was because we had an early excursion, I think, so it was handy to have that roll
So
in.
let's back up and let's explain about how to get room service, especially first thing in the morning. They do give you this little kind of sheet of paper, I guess, that you could hang on your door. And you can fill out the night before, and I think you can put it out there up until like 4 in the morning or 2 in the morning or something. It was kind of really late, and then you just tell them what time you want your food, and they give you like hours, like between 6 and 6:30, 6:30 and 7, 7 and 7:30, and there's a variety of continental breakfasts, like Tim said. So you've got your pastries and all of that stuff that's on there. You can get your coffees and your juices, and then there's a couple of hot items. They do mini omelets. I added on bacon one day. It's not on the menu, but I just wrote it in, and they brought bacon. Lots of bacon, which we didn't eat all of. But in general, it's a very convenient way to eat first thing in the morning, especially if you've got an early day and you want to get off the ship. It is a $9.95 service charge to do that. But it's not the food that you're paying for, it's just the convenience of having them deliver it to your room.
Thanks for watching. Please click like and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on. That way you'll know when our new videos come out. And as always, keep living the wonderful life.